Oh, here we go.
Hello, everybody. This is Chaos with Chaos Esports Productions, bringing you the clan war between Eternal Dreamers and GG Kids. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner for Eternal Dreamers, it is going to be our Zerg player, Weightless. Take it away.
Alright, guys, and in the bottom left-hand corner in the yellow trunks, we have Rhinosaurus for GGK playing Terran. So a few things about ZvT. These are both Masters players, so we're going to see a very high-level play here, I think. I don't think we're really going to see any sort of, like, tentacle coming out from the Zerg or anything like that, as far as cheese.
How about we talk about a little bit about the players? Personally, I don't know either of them, so what do you know about Weightless? What are his styles? What does he tend to go with?
I actually just became part of GGK, or Eternal Dreamers, and I actually don't know a whole lot about either player either. This will be my first time seeing this team play as a team.
Okay. So then let's talk about the map a little bit. So Akalon Waste tends to favor a earlier game, in my opinion, from the Zerg player, just because the third base, while it is relatively easy to take down here, kind of, vertically on the map, it does leave kind of one giant open space for the major engagements to happen. And yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Most of the games that I see on this, if they go into really super late game, they tend to be like either a swarm host type style or kind of that typical Zerg. Yeah, I guess you don't really see that many Broodlords nowadays, but
Yeah.
so we are going to be seeing a hatch first coming out of Weightless. Pretty standard opening. As far as our Terran player, we do see a gas first, so it looks like he's probably going to be either going for a really fast Reaper, which we do see the Reaper now coming out, and then that usually gets followed up with a factory type play, because obviously with that extra gas so early on, it's very easy to follow up with kind of like a Reactor Hellion type style play. So.
Absolutely. I just want to toss in here real quick. Those people that are saying my mic is poor. I just changed mics, so let's see if this mic, when it just comes to it in there, if you would just say in the chat if this mic is any better on the goblins.
Okay. Are they saying that it's quiet?
No, they were saying my mic was gobbly, so I'm going to try using my laptop mic.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, one thing to note about Akalon Waste is it's considered to be an extremely Terran-heavy map. With all this open space up to both sides of the base, it makes it really easy for Terrans to drop, especially on Zerg. Mutaplay is going to be absolutely key from Weightless to make sure that he doesn't just get ripped apart by multi-pronged drops.
Now this Reaper is going in, can get a little bit of harassment off, and actually going to be just poking around a little bit, not really getting that a whole lot of damage. Second Reaper is on its way. So basically these Reapers mainly are functionally scouts. Basically, all main purpose of them is to get all the scouting information that they need early game to figure out what the Zerg player is planning on doing, whether he's planning on taking a really quick third or teching up very fast. So
we're actually seeing some really good micro coming out from those Reapers, making sure he's microing those absolutely perfectly. And I don't know if you saw the APM there, but that Terran actually jumped to 500 APM while microing those Reapers and macroing at the same time, which is extremely impressive for a Terran.
So it looks like we are seeing a factory come out here. Definitely going to be following up with some Hellions and going to be picking up his starport. Now, I do say Hellions, and there they come out. So we are not seeing Widowmine play, which is kind of more of a Wings of Liberty style, but still very effective here in Heart of the Swarm.
One thing I'm really curious that we'll see if happens this game is, since the Hellbat train change, I haven't really been seeing much Hellbat play. But with this double Hellion opening, and he's actually just queued up 2 more, so he's going into at least 4 Hellions right now. I'm curious if Ryan will go into a blue flame and then go into Hellbats and try and do some Hellbat drops in mid-game to see if he can catch the Zerg off guard. Because
actually, we are seeing a tech lab on the starport, so we are going to see some Banshees actually out here.
Banshees.
And honestly, I personally think that this is going to actually turn into some type of, you know, 1-1-1 type timing push. Because as far as production, he hasn't been too terribly consistent with his SCVs. So I'll be interested to see how Weightless chooses to deal with this.
Something else that we're going to see in this game that is really specific to that higher level play of, hopefully you do have the Hellions and Reapers pushing in right now. We'll see if Weightless loses that clean. He's going to back off.
Yeah, so he did lose one of those Reapers, which overall is not too terribly a loss, but obviously gives him a little less mobility and, you know, poking into the main later on.
Absolutely. You see Weightless open up with that double Evo, going for that wall off with the Roaches. The thing I was talking about, though, is Weightless popped down both gas guys on his natural, as opposed to his main. This is something you will see from high-level Zergs, basically diamond up, which is something that they realize that it's a lot easier to defend the main than the natural from drops, from pushes. So they put the gas in the natural because those will mine out faster. And then they still, if they lose their natural or their third in mid-game, then they still have a form of gas.
Now the lanes are going to be able to pick off one of these Hellions, so this attack is slowly diminishing.
Cloaking just came out there.
Yeah,
save Banshee.
Saved the Banshee quite well. And yeah, it looks like Ryan Saurus is going to be backing off. Probably playing a little bit more safe, maybe poking in with the Banshees here again. Probably just to harass this third and kind of force him to move out a little bit. So behind this, we do see tanks coming out. So he is going to transition into kind of more of a mech, tank bio, I guess is the proper term.
Probably more of just a standard. And he does have double engineering beta. So I'm curious to see if Rhinosaurus is going to go for just a 1-1 Marine tank Marauder siege into a third. Typically they'll try and do that to deny off that third base on the Zerg. It's actually a really, really strong push, especially when, if you look, Weightless actually doesn't have that many overlords around GGK Rhinosaurus' base, and so it's going to be kind of hard to sack and figure out the scouting. He does send in that.
Uh-oh, looks like we've got a little bit of lag on
my end. Someone. Is it from you?
I don't know if it's from me or...
It was lagging, but it didn't pop up with anything. So I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, so now we do see a Spire coming out for Weightless, so my guess is he's probably going to switch over to a few mutas, probably 7 or 8 would be my guess, just to do a little bit of harassing. He knows his opponent's pretty much sitting on, you know, a fairly heavy, you know, mech-type army, and isn't going to really have a whole lot of Marines because he spent all that, you know, time and effort getting out the Hellions and the tanks. So he should be able to do a little bit of damage with these mutas, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he completely blindsides me and goes Corruptors, but you never know.
You know, I have seen a few Zergs actually have been doing that. I know Blade in Korea, playing on the Korean Master Server, what he does is he goes into Corruptors instead of mutas and does Corruptors to deny off the drops. But it looks like Rhinosaurus is actually going to be looking to push out soon. Typically, this is what a Terran will do, is they'll get their army ready, and as soon as they're ready to push out, then that CC is ready, and they push out and drop the CC down as they push out, making it really hard for that Zerg to deny the establishment of that CC.
Now, fortunately for Weightless, he does have a Changeling with the entire army, so he knows that this push is coming. And these 9 mutas are going to be popping out here very shortly, and we do see a handful of Banelings being morphed in. Definitely going to be very effective against those bio units, but we'll have to see how this engagement comes out.
I really feel like because of that Changeling from Weightless in this army for Rhinosaurus, this could actually be a massive disaster.
And those Lings get a nice, really big surround. The tank is going to pretty much immediately shatter, and all those Banelings really good connections. And I don't think Rhinosaurus is going to be able to do much with this push. I think this is very well held off by Weightless, and now Rhinosaurus is going to have to push back and, you know, hold his own.
That Changeling was just so crucial in that defense, because if you look, Weightless had pretty much the perfect army to defend that. And he really, if you look at his army, he really didn't even have an overcommitment on that. He didn't need to. He just had enough to finish droning up his third, start droning up his fourth, and perfectly defended just fine, which was very well played by Weightless.
Now, I'm really surprised that Weightless isn't choosing to counter this. I mean, he did take out the majority of his forces, and is probably could have done a fair amount of damage, but I don't see the justification of that. These units are going in. We're gonna poking a little bit, not really get anything accomplished, and then behind this, he doesn't look like he's quite looking to poke. Maybe.
Yeah, I think he's gonna try and pop in with those occasionally to try and kill off maybe some of those mules, like all those mules. If he just Q snipes all those off, it'll be worth it. I think the reason Weightless chose not to push in, and this is coming from the stand of me playing Zerg, is he really doesn't have anything to break down the wall in. Had he known that Rhinosaurus didn't have a full wall in there, he may have gone, but 4 roaches is not enough to break through a wall in, and those wings are going to be nearly useless for breaking down the wall
So
at this point.
we do have a double drop coming around here, but it seems like that is more or less being done through Weightless's army, and actually he is going to get one medevac out of here, but
he did lose a queen there.
Yeah, I don't think that's too terribly critical. Obviously, it denies him from continuing his creep spread, but you know, with as many creep tuners that are out on the field, I don't think it's going to be too terribly hard for him to continue getting his creep out.
An extremely thick creep spread. I think actually Weightless is in an extremely commanding position here. He's actually starting to go up to 5 base right now.
I mean,
and the supply, he's almost maxed out.
Yeah, I mean he's 50 supply ahead, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
And I don't know if you see that. Tons of mutas picking off so many SCVs right there. Oh, Rhinosaurus probably lost 15 SCVs there. That was brutal.
Yep. Wow.
So
looks like we're in. Definitely Rhinosaurus. I mean, he's got a fairly strong army. As far as upgrades go, he's on 1-1. His Zerg player, the Zerg player's on 2-2. It's just kind of a very tight spot for him. It's not gonna be
something else.
Go ahead.
Something else to note is Rhinosaurus actually switched up and took the tech lab off the factory and is going into double Widow Mine production and saying, you know what, screw tanks. Those aren't going to be an option for him this game. And he went into much more Marauder production on that.
Now we do have a flank coming in here from the back. He's actually going to get a really nice round with these slings. These slings are going to come in. Definitely we get a few hits on them. Actually, I think those Widow Mines did a little bit of damage to the Marine Force as well.
The Widow Mines were so crucial on that, though. The one has 15 kills on it.
Yeah, I think having a few of those Widow Mines back definitely helps deal with that flank a lot better than I anticipated.
And I don't think Weightless actually had seen those Widow Mines until that engagement there, and it just became fail. Oh.
Fair amount of damage, but they just vanished.
All
those Widow Mines, man, let's see, that one's got 6 kills, that one's got 1. The one that had the huge detonation must have died, but wow.
The big thing is, though, like, Weightless has 70 lings popping out right now. And
yeah,
he just...
on the way. I don't know if Adrenal Glands is already... No, Adrenal Glands hasn't been researched yet, but I'm sure that will be coming soon now. I don't know if putting himself into this position is that good of an idea, because, he's kind of trapped in Weightless's face, so...
He's got Chitinous Plating coming out, and I think a big macro issue there is Rhinosaurus is flying a command center across the map, and I feel like he's got it in the wrong hotkey.
Yeah.
Which, man,
just chilling out
that could be really painful. And so he's gonna realize, and I think he just realized that, wait a second, there's a command center going aggressive on the enemy Zerg right now.
Yeah. Maybe he was gonna try and, plant it down in the middle of the map and throw Planetary Fortress, just...
Proxy Planetary in the main.
Why not, When you Proxy Planetary.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, seeing some creep getting cleared out at this point. I don't know, I have a hard time seeing Rhinosaurus being able to come back from this. I mean, while he does have a fair amount of production, you can see that his minerals are just absolutely stressed to the max. I mean, he's having a hard time, spending all that gas. Now that I think about it, do Terran really have a gas sink?
Marauders, but they have to, unlike Zerg or something where they can build a bunch at once, they have to build them one at a time, and he just doesn't have that many barracks to be building that many Marauders. Other than that, you're looking at maybe Banshees, or maybe or maybe siege tanks, but he really doesn't have. Terrans really aren't a gas heavy race.
Oh wow, these ultras are gonna be like, hello!
Yeah, ultras coming out now. They do have chitness plating. They do have 3-3, so they're at a 5-3 right now.
Oh, and those behind just absolutely mop up that army, and I gotta say, we're probably gonna be seeing it here soon enough. These mutas are in harassing, doing their thing. I think the mutas could actually just go in and...
The mutas actually picked off Rhinosaurus for command center there.
These four SCVs are just like chilling out here, like flexing their muscles, like, yeah, I'm in the fight.
I want to become a Marine when I grow up, when I'm a Grandmaster. Oh, Weightless actually making great Widowmine detonations there, being really cost efficient. And I think this is going to be the final push here as Weightless goes to 6 bases against 3 bases on the Terran and just continues to push in.
Yeah, I don't know as much that Rhinosaurus can do. I mean, he's just doesn't have enough minerals. He can't keep the production up, and you know, with that many mutas, that many ultras, I don't think. Yeah, there's just not a way for him to keep up. And that will be game number 1, with Eternal Darkness taking game number 1. So we'll have to see what GG Kids decides to send at this